Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saber the Cenotaph. This is part 23. I am your host and GM, and the creator of Saber, Austin Ramsey. My pronouns are he, him, and you can find me on Twitter at notaninn. If you would like to find the rules for Saber, you can do so at austin-ramsey.itch.io/beamsaber. It is now available in PDF for the, I think, very reasonable price of $10. And with that $10, you also get all future updates until I start getting like very fancy art and professional layout work done. But in the meantime, this stream is presented, as always, by You Don't Meet in an Inn, an actual play podcast about exploring obscure tabletop role-playing games with a diverse, rotating cast. And you can find that wherever you get your podcasts from. And this evening, I am joined by Takuma.
Hey, I'm Takuma. My pronouns are he and she. My Twitter is @Takuma_Kata_. I just wrapped running #SadMechJam on Twitter with John Harness. He has tweeted out a thread with some more info on what we are planning to do moving forward. There will be a small bundle for charity, and then we will figure out zine stuff further along down the line. Because we are both very busy, and we did not know this was going to blow up like this.
What? How many games were in it?
177. 177.
Wow. Well done. Well done, everyone who participated.
Yeah, everyone who participated, you are the best. And also, there are so many of you.
And also joining us is Ray.
Hello, I'm Ray. I use they, he pronouns, and you can find me on Twitter at RayRayTheGayGay, where I'm trying to be more active, because that social media presence is a good thing, apparently. I said it, then immediately realized I was just entirely wrong. But I'm
That's
doing it
the
anyway.
social media experience, actually, yeah. So
Yeah.
Also joining us is Jess.
Hi, my name is Jess. I use she, her pronouns, and you guys can follow me at my new Twitter and Twitch URL, at Quasinim. I play games on Twitch 5 days a week, mostly sad single-player narrative experiences, and yeah, I also have a podcast at Movie Morecast where we talk about movies. We're taking a break this week, but it's a fun time.
Awesome. Thank you. And last but never least, Sasha.
hi, I'm Sasha. My pronouns are NNs. You can find me on Twitter at Sasha_Renell. You can follow my game dev stuff at tcabbage.
Awesome. So, let's get into it. We are coming up on the end of the campaign. And this session, the mission y'all are starting this session, could potentially be the last mission, depending upon some choices y'all make. I'm not going to say what those choices are, but we shall see. But at any rate, so at this point, it is late winter. It's still snowing infrequently, but for the most part, it's just slush everywhere. And that's during the day. At night, everything becomes ice as the temperature dips back below freezing. It's just all around unpleasant. You've had to make way on your own FOB for the Paladins as they have taken over your airfield. And I think that they are definitely getting way more use out of it than y'all ever did. They have a bit more pull, and so they're pulling in a bit more, well, a lot more supplies there's almost always an airship either docked or inbound. So it's been way more crowded than usual at the chapel the last week or so. So, where are each of you when you get the call from Scratch? Dredge, where are you as the pseudo CO?
I think that I am going through the proxies outside, trying to find someone who could act as a priest, because we don't have one anymore, and it is a chapel, and folks are coming to the chapel thinking to use it as a chapel and not finding anyone with any kind of religious training here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just sort of sorting through, doing very rudimentary, like, interview stuff with these rampant proxies.
Like, chapels are more than John Woo gunfights?
As it turns out.
Can you imagine going to confession and finding out that it's someone's Facebook profile on the other side of the booth? That'd
Get worse and worse.
yeah. Just more and more blatant data gathering. Okay. Where's Scarecrow?
What time of day is it?
It is probably about 9 a.m.
Probably about 9 a.m. I'm thinking probably morning workouts, out of the shower, just like cleaned up and ready for any like active variation in routine for the day. So just like fresh and ready.
Okay. Where's Tower?
I mean, Tower's been doing their whole cooking thing, and I think, with all the new traffic, they've set up sort of like a little. It's not like a formal thing, but they've just been making like big batches of like muffins and like little things for the people coming through to like pick up, because sometimes when you're a big pilot person, you don't eat breakfast, and pilots need breakfast. Because otherwise pilots crash things.
It's true, they make a very big deal about pilots eating properly in basically every mecha anime. So quick question, do you want to spend a cash and make that a schmooze roll with your patron faction?
Do I? Let's see how much cash I have. Because we spent a lot. I have 1 cash, so I could.
Provide some catering to the paladins?
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'll spend that cash and make a schmooze roll. I've never made a schmooze roll. How do we do this?
So basically, you figure out which action you want to roll for that, and then the result determines how much trust you get back with whichever faction you're schmoozing, which in this case is your patron faction. So, like, if you get a 6, you get 3 trust back.
Could I almost? Because I'm not actually schmoozing, I'm schmoozing with muffins.
Mm-hmm.
Could I make a case for finesse?
Yeah, sure thing. Gotta whip that batter just so.
Yeah.
It's all on the wrist.
So is this just a... This doesn't have like a risky standard kind of dealie?
No, it's just a fortune roll.
Okay. I will roll that then. 2 dice. That's a 5.
That's a 5.
That's respectable.
That is respectable. So I'm gonna add 2 trust to your patron faction, which I'm sure will last a very long time.
Those are really good muffins.
They're really
Holy
good.
shit.
Yeah, the paladins, they are definitely grateful for it, and word gets back to people in important positions. So yeah, so you're there handing out muffins when you get the call. And where is Pitchfork?
I have been awake for 2 hours and I'm still in bed staring at the ceiling.
Fucking mood.
Buddy.
Big mood, but oh.
Is there a specific reason for that?
Just the harm and the scar continuing.
Yeah. There. Okay, so yeah, each of you gets pinged with a text message from Scratch. Which
I have a question, Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Could my schmooze have potentially... I know they're not a foe, but with how we do things, they might be. Could that potentially activate Good-Hearted for me?
Yeah, I think that would work on activating for the paladins. Yeah.
Okay.
You've been acting in their best interest, so you maintain the controlled position until you do otherwise.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, you all get called to the chapel, which is where you usually do your briefings. Who's the first one there?
Probably. I mean, we could just all arrive at the same time.
We all just the door and you go up.
Yeah, or
I think
three
Scarecrow
people
would be
trying. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm very late.
Oh, sorry.
Aw.
So, I guess Scarecrow, you see as you walk in, Scratch is shooing out a couple of paladins who were praying, or were just taking a break, and they're just "Get out of here! This is our briefing room. Don't you have better things to do?"
I think I just make a motion at Scratch. Just a...
They're grumbling, but they leave. They understand control of intel. So the three of you arrive. Scratch is wearing
Boy.
a t-shirt that is just multitudes too big. It would look like a ankle-length dress, but it's clearly just a t-shirt. There's no doubt in the cut of it that it is a t-shirt that is down to the ankles, and printed on it, or just a big image on the front, is what you can presume to be Scratch's family tree, which is, according to this family tree, Scratch's ancestors are a colon and a close bracket and a semicolon and a close bracket.
Ah, yes, the two genders.
And their direct parents are the wrestling emoji and the thinking emoji. They've got a cousin who is just the woman dancing emoji. So, but that's the only person of their generation, as far as this shirt explains.
I have a question
Mhm.
with Scratch. What OS's emoji do they use? Because I feel like this is important to know.
This is a very valid question.
I think, it varies. I think at some point, way back in the day, there was someone who had there was a family member who had a relationship with a Facebook emoji, and they're all traditionally Android or iOS, and that was a whole big to do. But like eventually, like, you know, the younger generation was like, come on, you know, it's 4219, get with the times, don't be such a bigot. And
Fuck wild.
I'm so proud.
so yeah, that's what they're wearing, is their family tree on an oversized t-shirt.
I don't know if you're planning on ever selling Beam Saber merch, but like I need this t-shirt.
If I do, I'll hire you to make it, Sasha.
Are they wearing like the skeleton, the neon skeleton leggings from the frog? Saber frog?
No, it's just the like just
That's
the shirt, like nothing else.
It's also funny because I'm picturing it like you know, real like Heaven's Gate roby kind of thing, but just with like with really tiny arms because it's a t-shirt.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does Scratch have legs here?
Are you looking for Scratch's feet?
I'm curious.
They are red.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's not. Scratch isn't a t-shirt ghost.
No.
Rude.
So
Contempt.
So Scratch is looking at the three of you and says, "Does Pitchfork have her comms on silent or something? Should one of you like run and knock on her door? I know y'all put some bodies in there lately, but she's not. I mean, is she just dead tired?"
Scarecrow kind of checks her wristcom. I can
Something
drive
like
it back
that.
to me.
Should
I'm here. Sorry I'm late. Sorry.
Hey. Well, good to have you all here. Please make sure the door is closed and locked so none of those pesky paladins come in while we are
Scarecrow's already doing it.
talking. Thank you very much. So now, who's ready for your hashtag squad? And then Scratch winks out.
This is the look.
You, okay.
Mhm.
And then a new image flickers up from the AR display, and it's Castle Kim.
Oh, motherfucker.
And
Can't swear we're in church.
they say, "Greetings, Cenotaph. Don't worry, your AI companion is fine. They'll just have a bit of a hangover when they boot back up. I figure I owe them for impersonating my orders previously when they sent you on that goose chase to kidnap a metal band. But at any rate,
Technically post-metal.
at any rate, I wonder, Dredge, have you informed any of your squad mates about the mission for today?
In as much as I know about it, yes.
All right. Well then, let's get into it. So, as you all know, the March of Saints have occupied the Twinler and Red headquarters. We don't know why they are there. But, considering that their goals for the last couple of years has been trying to find the sovereignty engine, we suspect it may have something to do with that. To that end, they have put forward a contract specifically to the four of you after I believe Tusser spoke with you when you most recently visited the headquarters. And that contract is to go into the underground passages of the headquarters and clear it of the dangerous situation that exists below. According to the contract, there has been some injuries and at least one death amongst the workers who have gone down there. Not due to cave-ins, as the structure itself is extremely stable in spite of the bombardment it withstood during the initial engagement outside of Journey City. But due to some other things, and there are conflicting reports about what is down there. Some of the injured have said that there are hostile Twinler and Red staff still down there, which seems unlikely considering the facility has been, as far as our intel says, buried for the last couple of years. There's also been reports of drones active in the headquarters. And according to the March of Saints medics, there have been reports of chemical burns. So presumably there are hazardous materials that have been spilled at some place within the facility. So the Saints want you to go and take care of these potential threats, whichever of them may be real or imagined. They want you to get this under control. And they're willing to pay for it. So if you manage to handle this issue for them, I have no issue with you taking the hard-earned pay that you get from them. However, the reason you're actually there is to gather actionable intel for the Breath of Faith. Now, there are 3 questions that we need answered for your mission to be considered completed. The first is, what does the Sovereignty Engine do? The second is, where is it located? And the third is, how is it controlled? We need all 3 pieces of information to keep the Saints in check. Now, are there any questions about this?
Is it likely that we'll come across the Sovereignty Engine itself?
Unknown. It could be inside of the Twinler and Red HQ, as far as we know. What we do know is, from the intel that we have gathered from our agents who've managed to integrate themselves into the Saints and remain active, is that it is somewhere in the greater Journey City area, which doesn't exactly narrow things down, but it's better than saying the entire island.
Sorry, I have a bunch of questions.
Go for it.
You said you had agents in? Anyone in particular that we should know to avoid or contact if we need contact?
This is a gather information role.
Okay.
They are clearly reluctant to divulge this information. So what do you want to roll? What do you want to roll, and how would you assist, Jess?
Basically, I'd want to kind of interject in the conversations like, look, we don't have FOF tags for them. We've got some of these guys to eliminate. There's a crossfire. You want them alive, we need to know who the fuck not to shoot.
Okay. I'm not going to charge you stress for that, because that's an ineffective argument, and he will say they aren't going to be down where you're going to be free firing.
If that's not a context, there. Essentially, what I'm asking is there a possibility that we'd be putting them in any danger?
If you somehow reveal their identities to the Saints, absolutely.
But otherwise, no?
Otherwise, unlikely. I would be very surprised if any of you were foolish enough to attack the Saints in their compound.
Oh, I would never underestimate us, Castle Kim.
I see.
Yeah. Well, that answers my question. So.
Speaking of that topic, your rules of engagement are no causing structural damage to the Twinler and Red headquarters. We don't know if we will need it intact. The second is no harm to Saints personnel, which is primarily due to the third one, which is no revealing the true purpose of this mission to anyone outside of this room. That's part of the reason that I shut down Scratch.
I think that Reg has been stiff since since Castle mentioned chemical burns, and is a bit distant and is not contributing as much as possibly Co could.
Yeah, I like part of the reason. I think Tower sort of like made eye contact and then essentially was the question asker there.
Yeah.
For that sort of reason.
Is there anything else?
You said there might be hostile employees remaining. Are there any other threats we should know about?
Unfortunately, the records of what all is in the Twinler and Red headquarters, what they were doing in that research facility prior to its premature shutdown, was lost, as far as we know. The Saints recovered some of it, but we don't know what all they were doing down there, unfortunately.
Do you know what down there looks like? Do you have if not a map, a basic layout?
Unfortunately, for the same reasons, no. Out of character, this isn't going to be like a D&D-ass dungeon crawl. I don't have like...
No, I'm just curious.
I just want to make clear, like, the way we're going to handle this is that there is going to be a clock to find your way through each level, and then once you fill it, you can choose to move, change levels to the next level at any time.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything that I could be getting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to interrogate the protocol a little bit, and to abstract, just want to extract this conversation is basically, what is our call if, with regards to the sovereignty engine, if, say, for example, we gather intel and it is in enemy hands? Is it catch and release, or is it deny it to the enemy?
The preference would be to bring it under control of the Breath of Faith. Bring it back to me. If that is not possible, scrap it. The Saints can't have it.
Roger that.
We don't
Okay.
need to become Jovengelians with their regular coups.
Fair point.
So
Is
that's
there a
the-
time frame on this? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
I just said, so that's the issue then. I was wondering what the beef was between you two, but I guess that makes sense.
Well, the time frame is dependent entirely upon the Saints' contract, and I believe that they have given you a full week to clear out the headquarters. So, make use of that what you will. But, who knows? Maybe you'll get a bonus for doing it quicker.
Fair. Okay.
If you guys are paying close attention, you might see Scarecrow tapping something onto her wrist computer. Just discreetly.
All right. Okay. I mean, you hacked Scratch. I mean, do we have any choice in this? I assume not.
You have always a choice. However, not all of them are great.
Death in a hole or a court martial. Those are the ones, buddy.
Yep. Lovely.
Glass or plastic? Any Michael Bay fans here?
Oops.
The Rock is one of my favorite movies.
I'm uncultured. Yeah. Fuck. And I think, like, Tower just tries to sort of make eye contact with Dredge, just, like, to get a little nod either way.
That's all we need. Well, can we contact you? I guess, yeah. How, with you want answers to these questions, how do we get you those answers?
I'll know when you're back at the chapel and I'll check in on you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Are you prepared to give us help if we need it, if you really want these answers? If we're in there and we're in a bad spot, can we contact you or someone else if we need backup or just buy us some time?
I will not repeat this again. Are you clear on that?
Yes.
All right, then. The code word is Autumn Blizzard. Put that over an open frequency, and I will have a team of my agents come in. They will storm the Saints' compound with the explicit goal of getting you and your cargo out. Their emphasis will be on the cargo, so you will need to keep up. Do not squander this. Do not tell anyone.
Yep. That's all we needed.
Appreciate it.
We'll do it.
See you in a week.
Yep.
May the faith be with you.
And
And
also with you.
Sorry, I've been watching John Mulaney bits.
and then they wink out.
Okay, does Scratch come back, or is it just dead air?
Just
Okay.
dead air.
Okay. Scarecrow's going to walk over to the door, open it, and Hugin's floating right outside of it, carrying a package and not its usual rifle parts. Takes it,
Okay.
and you guys can keep hearing the congregation, but actually, I'm just going to describe the scene real fast. But basically, she takes off her jacket, and the package contains a helmet, like, full face mask and all that, but also like this weird backpack thing. And she throws that on, and she's got like the kind of plug suit on, right? And there are these little clips all around it, and basically these bands snake out of the backpack, wrap through those clips and form a weave. So bam, it turns into a full environment suit.
Nice. Dredge says that. It's like admiring it.
It's all good. And I think her voice is like, oh, it's like when you've got like a respirator on her or something, where it's like, it's not that distorted. It's just like echoed and cramped. And she throws the jacket back on over it, and she's big. Like she just looks bigger. And I'm going with heavy load for this mission. Just declaring that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so am I. Despite Tower's whole thing. Yeah, I think, like, if everyone's chill with it, like, we could just wear them in, so I think, you know, environmental suits are probably a good idea for this one.
Yup.
It doesn't take up load when it's worn, so.
Very true.
Got to clear these.
Yeah, so it is time to plan the mission.
Yay! We haven't done this in like a month.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Shit.
Like 6 weeks.
True. Okay, so your employer is the Breath of Faith. Your target is the March of Saints, who is also your employer if you manage to secure the headquarters.
Yay, love excessively complex missions.
We didn't do it this time. We did not bring this on our own heads this time.
Yeah,
This isn't
We
our
just have a
fault.
reputation, and we're
Got
playing into
lives, that's all.
yeah. So you have the opportunity to get 2 supply rolls from this mission if you complete both the main objective of answering the questions and the quote-unquote secondary objective of making the facility safe.
Supply rolls always go so well for us.
Two
So,
of them, though.
yeah.
2 of them.
2 very wealthy and in our own faction for once.
Yay!
Yep. And because you aren't, like, presumably directly attacking the Saints, there's a good chance that you could get away with, like, not a whole lot of trust lost from the mission.
And we're gonna fill that intelligence coup clock.
That is true. You will absolutely do that by completing this mission.
Which is scary.
Literally nothing bad happens from that. In fact, you all get a new ability if you do that.
Oh, sorry.
That's good. Yeah. It just sounds scary.
Wow, so a rare thing where there is no downside in Beam Saber. That doesn't happen that often.
No, to be
Not for us.
Don't tempt fate. Don't tempt fate.
yeah, to be fair, I don't recall what the ability is offhand, so there could be like a downside to it that I don't recall.
This is Beam Saber.
But there will also be a benefit. So yes,
Yay.
your objectives are answer the 3 questions. What does the sovereignty engine do? Where is it located and how is it controlled? And clear out any dangers from the Twinler and Red headquarters. Your rules of engagement. No structural damage to the headquarters. No harm to Saints personnel. And no revealing the true purpose of your mission.
You like my little joke there, Austin?
What joke?
In chat.
Open frequency calls in the cavalry.
No Russian.
Oh.
I mean, no revealing the mission intel.
Oh, yes. Hopefully, presumably, there will be no war crimes in this mission.
Presume we're us.
Yes. Although
You know-
I will point out that there is no restriction against firing on or posing as medical personnel in this mission
Huh.
from either
Is
group,
there?
from either employer.
My brain just did like a scary Myriad edit, and it's just like trying to recontextualize like the line as one line. It's like, "Hello, nurse."
Amazing.
Yeah. So what tactic do y'all want to go with?
Tactics.
Assault, deception, scientific, social, stealth, or transport?
Ooh, that pasted in weird. Okay, sorry.
Scientific is interesting here.
Yeah.
Scarecrow is just going to advocate for assault here. Clear it room by room, floor by floor. Sweep it.
Yeah, something that Castle Kim didn't make clear, but that the March of Saints contract would have, is that this facility is large enough for you to bring your Avis inside of it. So there will be a great many spaces where your Avis will be able to function. There will also be hallways that you will have to get out of your Avi to go through.
Okay. I think assault isn't unreasonable.
Yeah. Especially if the space is big enough to get our Avies in.
Also, to be clear, that's not like every single room is like a stadium for you to walk around in. Like some of these will be essentially Avi-sized hallways, right?
I mean, my argument for scientific is like approaching it scientifically, where we don't have to clear every single room. We just have to clear the ones that had the intel in it.
Fair. But that could also lead into potentially a stealth if we're going for that.
No, we explicitly have to clear things. This isn't Metal Gear Solid. We're not gonna like rock up behind every single guard and go, I would take you out without you sounding the alarm.
I could. I could. I have 4 dice in prowl. You don't know me.
All right, cool. So the rest of us get a vacation. Let us know when you're done.
Tower out here choke holding the spilled chemicals.
Take 3 more scars. I'm out. See y'all. Bye.
So, assault or scientific?
It's assault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the point of attack?
Point of attack. Well, we need some intel basically, but we need to know all the entries and exits. Especially for a facility of this size and with the level of vehicle that can access it. This means that there should be a controllable number of entry points, I think.
Yeah, there's... there's... For AV entrances, there is 1, which is like the loading facility.
Is that including entrances that could accommodate the Mantis because it's so much smaller than typical lobby?
Could the Mantis fit through like a wide hallway? Probably with some effort, in the same way that the Magpie can. So I guess for those two, there are more entrances, but like it's gonna be awkward, like very awkward to move through those.
Yeah.
But those are entrances meant for people, not vehicles.
Yeah, so I'm thinking our point of attack is the loading bay, and as long as we control that point, we control ingress and egress.
But if it's so big, then how do we control the space?
I don't think we have to control it if at least in terms of ingress. I feel like the Saints will have that covered already. What we're doing isn't that, it's clearing it out. It's not, guarding it. So, but I do agree that it is the point of contact, or the whatever the fucking phrase was.
Point of attack.
Point of
Go
attack.
to church, you can't swear.
I'm sorry. But whatever the heckin' phrase was. I do agree that that's what that is, because we'll have the Saints to our back at that point.
Okay, so assault, and you're attacking through the loading bay, loading facility, because it's not just one bay, to be clear. All right, so let's go to the engagement roll. Is the mission bold? Yes.
Yep.
So that's 2 dice. Is the mission especially complex?
Seems so. We've got 2 missions.
Yeah.
We've essentially got 2 missions. We have a facility to control and
Intel together.
urge,
and we have
basically,
to-
with a team of 4. We've got AVs and people inside a contained space. We have an unlocated, unknown object potentially in the facility, potentially. Like, there's a lot going on. It's very complex.
Yeah. Okay, so that's back down to 1 die. Does the mission exploit the target's vulnerabilities? Yes. Yes, it does. Is the mission's tactic ineffective against the target?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
I will say no.
That's ominous.
Does the squad receive external support for the mission? No.
Potentially, yeah.
The squad that is on call, they are not helping out with the mission, like with the vast majority of the mission, right? If you if y'all call for help like in the basement down there, they aren't coming. You need to be like ground level for them to be willing to intercede. So, yes, they are available at like the last minute, but they are not helping you before then. Where was I? Is anyone interfering with the mission other than the target? Yes. Are there any other factors that affect the mission? Plus 1d. I'm going to say the fact that this is something y'all have experience with in a sort of roundabout way. And so I think that you all received some like basic training for joining the Cenotaph to that you're able to apply in this situation. So that'll be...
Just for the record, Austin, your overlays
I'm
messed up.
fixing it now.
There you go.
Sorry, you talk about? I'm playing Pitchfork now. Have fun with Tower's bullshit.
Quick, Ray, make Pitchfork be my friend again.
Not even I could do that.
Were you ever friends
Oh!
though?
Oh,
Look, bullying was last session. We gotta focus on the mission now.
no, in-character bullying was at last session. We're free to do whatever we want.
Where was I? 2 dice. You're at 2 dice. Is there anything else hindering the squad?
The bullying.
We're all very tired and sad.
That'll come out in play though. We don't need engagement dice for that one. I think that's it. I think it's a 2-die engagement roll unless anyone can think of anything else. Good or bad. Okay then.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Who wants to roll the 2 dice?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
We're all cowards.
3 and a 4.
That's a 4. Okay, so that's a risky position.
Lovely.
Yeah, okay. So a risky position for your initial...
Does my control carry over to that, or was it just while I was in that?
It's just for dealing with the paladins.
I just wanted to clarify because the wording is a little bit unclear on that.
Did we reach out to the paladins for that? Be like,
It
hey,
was when I made muffins.
no, yeah, but like,
Talk to them.
could we be like, hey, if shit goes sour, can you come pick us up?
I mean, you can, and also that ROE.
What was? hang on.
Yeah.
I was paying attention.
Don't talk about the mission.
I mean, not that one, obviously, but the
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 w-
Saints
the
one.
General Saints one, not the Breath
What
of Faith.
exactly is the Saints mission again?
it's to make the Twin Learn Red headquarters safe.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was right there, because I wasn't quite sure.
Look, once you remove all the potential energy from a structure, it's completely safe. I'm saying, just if it's properly demolished, it's completely safe. There's no cave left to cave in.
No structural damage.
Right. Okay.
Well, it's only structural damage if there's a structure to damage.
So
Anymore.
So we have to go back in time and unbuild the Twin
That's
Learn
what
Red
I'm saying.
headquarters. Is what? Okay. So after
I've
that,
been watching
nice
Umbrella
to add
Academy.
to
Don't fuck with me.
the engagement roll really quick.
I don't even know what to do with this. I think time travel is a long-term project.
I mean, we have a few
It
more
will be.
downtimes.
It will have been a long-term project.
Okay. So I looked at your relationship with the Paladins. Y'all have a 0 relationship with them, and you also don't have any contacts inside of them. So I don't think there's really an argument to be made for being like, hey, could you have our backs on this? They'll be like, you gave us some muffins, which is nice, but like we got other shit to do.
They were really good muffins, god damn it.
Thanks for the free sample. We're not helping you move.
That's fair.
Oof. We make good choices here at the Cenotaph.
It's happened before. Probably.
Is it?
I think.
Name me 3 of their songs.
Okay, here's a group you could call in for support if you wanted to arrange it. The Hyenas. You have a +3 relationship with them, and you know someone who is with them.
Yeah.
Do we want to?
Is that possible?
If you can arrange that, I mean, it's up to y'all how you want to do it.
Oh my god.
Shit.
What is there? Hang on, I'm gonna go look at the fucking hyenas really quick.
I mean, they're tier 1.
Goal is to make a mess of the foe.
That
That's-
sounds like fun for them.
Yeah, it's not especially complex. a
It's
need.
like, hey, you want to reenact that one scene from Evangelion?
I mean, to be fair, the Hyenas, they're more of like that one scene from Old Boy. But
Also haven't seen that, but I know that that's a
the-
hell of a pull.
the hammer scene.
But all
Gotcha.
you have is a hammer. Everything looks like Korean cinema.
But at any rate, yes, the other group that would be willing to like, because I don't know what you want to tell people, but like jumping the Saints headquarters in the Saints fortress in the Broken Bank is a hell of an ask. And so there's like, I would say probably only 2, maybe 3 groups willing to do this for you. And that's the Hyenas, the Rubble Runts, who we have already said are not going to be put into danger.
Yep.
And Doctors Beyond Stars, who are extremely ill-equipped for this concept.
I mean, hey, Lady Elreth likes us now.
Yeah, but
Just like it's that much.
where is she? I think she is at +1
Also,
with you.
I also suspect Lady Elrith would result in structural damage. Call it a gut feeling.
There.
Yeah, she doesn't like you enough for that yet.
Did I call in the circus?
They also like this would be a big ask. Like honestly, if it was if it was another group, if it was like a lower tier group's fortress, or if it was like maybe a Saints convoy, people at +1 would be willing to stick their necks out for you. But this is a tier 5 fortress that y'all are asking them to jump.
Yeah.
Okay, but doctors are useful. And
Horribly ill-equipped.
I feel
for
like the hyenas
fighting, yeah,
probably a
for
good idea.
repairing and stuff like that, not so much.
What would they be repairing?
Me
Hopefully not
most of the
us.
time.
Yeah.
So, okay. What? Okay.
Scarecrow's gonna advocate for getting the hyenas on board because we need fire support. We're 4 people. If we're going to be clearing a facility of this size, the more bodies on the ground, the better.
I assume you mean that in both senses of the word?
Didn't say that.
Just get the feeling.
Sorry. If they'll
let me
take our
rephrase. The
call,
more
then
boots on
yes.
the ground, the better.
If they'll take our call, then it's worth a shot.
Okay.
I haven't taken my calls in about a year, so
Who's
Yeah.
our contact in there, though? I forget.
Demon.
It's been a...
fucking demon.
Oh.
Yeah, you want to call Cass?
On a meta level, like, is that possible?
She's not online, so I'm gonna say no.
Aww.
But that would be wild if we were able to pull that off. But
Someone tweeted her.
at any rate, how is this gonna work? Okay, so who reaches out to her, and like what's the ask? What and what are you leveraging? Like, this is not going to be a roll, to be clear. You have a +3 relationship with them. There is no roll here to get this help. They might want a favor in the future. Scratch might.
I'm only trading future favors for this, but this is kind of up to you guys. I think you guys have the relationship.
I mean, I'd be willing to make that call.
Okay, Tower. How do you...
Okay.
What do you do?
I said that, then I realized I actually had to do it.
Yeah! That's what happens when you volunteer for things.
Yep. Yeah, so I think, like... Let me ask this. If Tower asked the group, especially if Tower asked Keiko, like, would Tower get everyone's approval for this, is what I'm asking.
I don't want any part of this.
You know what the
Scarecrow has
hyenas
no
are?
reservations because Scarecrow doesn't have the context.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm mostly asking Keiko. Because there was some drama.
I don't want any part of this.
No?
No.
I'm not gonna try and convince you to, like, let us bring them on. Like, we don't really know what we're going into, and for all we know, they'd be willing to put themselves in a bad situation for us. So,
They're a close quarters combat unit. We are not a combat unit.
that. So, like, think about it, and if it's still a no, like, just tell me. But give it some thought, because it might be. It might help to give us a bit more of a chance in there.
Just put your foot down. No.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll call in backup if we need it. Do what we always do. Just get through it.
Okay. Is anyone going behind Tower and Pitchfork's back to call the hyenas? Scarecrow.
I don't think
yeah.
Scarecrow is capable of doing it on her own.
I was gonna say, I think you would need to hit up one of the other squad members or Scratch for the contact info to get a hold of someone in the hyenas.
I'm going to ask a quick question mechanically about how things might be done in the future, because I think what would be appropriate would be, I think because it introduces conflict at the beginning of the mission to just do it. But I think what Scarecrow might do is, you know, during prep time, talk to Scratch, get the info, and like have it ready to pull if things start going south. Especially because she doesn't know much about Demon beyond like battle reports and so on. So the card she has to play if she's doing this by herself is, hey, your old squad's in trouble.
Okay. Well, we can handle this with a flashback then, if you don't want to decide right now.
That would work for a flashback.
Yeah. We'll, whenever it comes up, we'll decide how much stress that is. But part of the reason I wanted to figure that out now is because it'll affect your engagement dice, right? Like if you firmly establish that you're going to bring in the hyenas for help, then that'll be an extra die in your engagement roll. But otherwise, it's just going to be 2 dice.
Yeah.
So,
and the whole time we're having this conversation, Scarecrow is just like, fire support, fire support, fire support.
We've gone without fire support before. We can do it again if we need to.
And we will need to.
Yeah, and we will. We will get through it.
Dredge, you've been pretty silent through this whole, like, discussion about whether or not to bring in the hyenas.
Uh-huh.
What are you thinking?
They would be really useful from the jump. Having a little bit of company would not be a bad thing. I think that the hyenas run counter to our typical way of doing things. Given that, you know, the last time that we worked for them, just a couple of people died to fit their ROE. Also, I've, again, been trying to contact Demon for a long time and have sort of given up on that as an avenue. And I don't expect them to pick up, is the thing. Even
I've got Jovo military contacts. That might be back channel.
Like, my thinking on this is, do I really want to risk Tower and Keiko's relationship?
yeah.
Right? We haven't even started yet. It's a mess.
Because Tower is trying very hard to, like, make friends and keep friends. And
Can we lean on Bishop Finmal for anything?
yeah.
Get what's their face from that other mission back? Be like, hey, do you want to go spelunking?
Which mission are you talking about?
The
Mission.
yeah, the transport mission with the post metal band.
Oh,
Pars
you want the groupie?
So,
Sorry, not the
Oh my
roadie?
god, the dark room. Hey,
Yeah, can we call up the metal band we kidnapped?
hey, what's Parspiati up to?
yeah, they don't like you that much.
Send a text, be like, hey, you up?
Yeah, they like you, but they don't They
Something
don't.
like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
That's fair.
Scarecrow's like, hey, want to get coffee?
And by coffee, I mean infiltrate a tier 5 military base,
But also coffee.
but also coffee.
Okay. It sounds like no one.
No, I mean
Yes.
The pilot whose Avi got like wrecked trying to help us with that transport mission.
Oh, that was one
that
of
I
the
saved, like twice.
that was one of the paladins.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind then.
Yeah. I mean, if you you can have a flashback and get help from Bishop Finmill if you think of something that you want. He's willing to provide gear and stuff. You're at a +3 with him, but he's tier 1 W. He is not really he can call upon military AVs and military personnel when necessary.
What does W and S mean?
That's
strong.
yeah, weak and
Oh.
strong. It's their hold. So
He's baby.
yeah, he's on the verge of getting knocked down to tier 0. That's what W
Oh.
means.
Oh no, Dad.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it and do flashbacks when we need it, because we will.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you are in a risky position, and I think that since it is, no, we'll go on a little bit longer since I'm pretty sure I know what I want to do for this first challenge. So y'all have made your way into the Twinler and Red headquarters after. Everyone's got their AVs, right? Just
Yep.
Pitchfork? Okay. So everyone's got your AVs. You were escorted into the fortress, which, as I said previously, is becoming more of a community with every passing day as this place of stability in the broken bank. And you enter into the shipping facility of the headquarters, which is like a warehouse that has a ramp that goes underground. So you're escorted down there, and you are at the first level of administration. And we are so while you're there, you get a little bit more information. You find out that there are 5 levels to this facility.
Yikes.
Administration is level 1. Level 2 is storage. Level 3 is manufacturing. Level 4 is research and development. And level 5 is support systems. Okay. So there is you can do some more investigation at the administration level if you're so inclined, but there is no active challenges here.
Okay. I would like to do some investigation though, because one thing I have, which is very good right now, I think for this mission, is Ranger. When I gather info to locate a target, I get +1 effect.
Very good. Okay, so how are you looking for stuff?
I think I might not actually be great at that.
So yeah, while you think about this, the administration level is a lot of cubicles and some foyers and waiting rooms, conference rooms. There's like a showroom, but whatever was on display here has already been removed. And being closest to the surface, this is the area that has the most damage, but like nothing is in threat of structural collapse. There's just like shit knocked over. It's not been fully explored because it is such a large facility. So that's part of the reason that the Saints aren't able to just like pass this information along to you or have it themselves. Scarecrow, you got an idea of what you want to look for?
The problem is, I think what would make the most sense in the administrative section would be study.
Probably.
Looking through logs and so on. I don't have anything in that. The only thing I actually have points in is survey, which I think would make more sense if we have a vague idea of where it is and we're looking for signs that it's been moved through here or so on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I might actually hold back on that, but I will suggest it as like a general tactical note. Is like, can we check through logs or something here? Like, we have control of the admin section, so that's something we might want to do.
Anyone want to gather information here?
Reading isn't really my thing.
Do none of us have study?
Yeah, tower dumb. I have 1 in study.
I can scan. I'm real good at that. But
I can maneuver.
it's can I make an argument for reading through not design documents, but like technical documents with engineer?
Depends upon what you're looking for.
I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for I have no idea what I'm looking for.
Actually, one thing you could look for is power draw.
That would do it. That would be good to know where where power is being allocated in the lower levels. That would be really handy. I'm gonna do that. Thank you, Jess. Good shit.
Okay, so yeah, you can absolutely roll engineer for that.
Hooray.
And this
Is
is
that
this is a fortune roll. There's no threats here.
Cool beans. Go away. It's a 4 to 1.
That's a 4. Okay, so you get standard information. So let's see. You don't find any active terminals that are like, here's where all the power is going. But you do find, I think, an old like work order for the lower levels for an electrician to come in and do some work. And reading through the details of it, you can tell that there are basically, so all the levels use power, obviously, right? For lighting, but up here in administration, there's no lights. I'm gonna just say that y'all are using like low level like headlights on your Avis or something to work by. If you want something that's more powerful than like a couple of feet away, you're gonna have to declare spotlight on your AV.
I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil and I don't like this.
This is the administration level, to be clear. The storage level has a similar level of power requirements. A little bit more since there's some stuff that needs to remain refrigerated. And also they also have power requirements for conveyor belts and charging forklifts and stuff like that. Then there is the power draw On the 3rd level for manufacturing, that is a major power draw, as well as the 5th level support systems is also a major power draw. The 4th level R&D is variable. It depends upon what they are doing there at any given moment. There are times where the whole facility needs to be notified that there's going to be a massive power draw, and so like backup is everybody save your documents because this whole place might shut down in a moment. And then there are like weeks where it's just as much power draw as administration.
Do we know if there's current R&D work going on, or?
Nope, you got a 4.
Fair. Yay, corrosive chemicals. Lovely.
So yeah.
We have the live. I mean, there aren't. We have this secured in the sense that there aren't hostiles on this level. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's nothing threatening in administration except for, dust allergies.
Is there anyone here, or is it just us?
There's probably like a little bit of Saints labor moving about this space, tidying it up, but they're working like very slowly and methodically from the like loading bays and moving inwards. And whereas the 4 of y'all are just like going where the fuck ever on this floor.
Okay.
So around them there's like big work lamps set up. But for the most part it is dark in here.
Okay. Seems like it's probably just pertinent to move to the next level. Also, Austin, please tell me there's the Akira elevator.
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent.
So you get onto the elevator going down, the AV elevator to be clear, going down to the lower level. And it is this big, like, platform that can probably hold, I would say, a half dozen heavy AVs on it. And it goes down, like, there's no walls, there's just like a safety railing. And it lowers to the next level on like a 60-degree angle. So you're slowly going down. There's like work lamps on this elevator. So you go down to the next level. And there's a big, heavy, well, not super heavy more because of its size. It's not like especially secure. It's just like one of those rolling lift, like garage door type things for this level because it's just storage. And that starts to open up into darkness. And we are going to take a break. Okay. So,
Attempt.
everyone, we will be back in about 5 minutes.